Connections making connections, which is this idea of the three spheres, as I understand. Also the possibility of observing the subtleties of applying this work with special needs and these things that you're discovering, how the parents are slightly more involved, slightly more vulnerable maybe too, because they have this role of being parents and therapists. How do we accompany that? So those things are the diamonds, I think, of making connections, is what maybe you are addressing, as I understand.
We try to look at all the connections, like the network or the field of connections a child is in, and we believe that in the relationships, it's not in the individual person where the change needs to happen, but in the relationship, in the relational field between the child and the mother, the father, the caregivers, the grandmother, maybe the siblings, or a dog or a cat. So they, to see it in a much bigger context.
For me, it's also a lot of like focus on parents, how to bring a little bit more comfort to the situation, and maybe just to feel, oh, I am very important, and my child, and what we know together, or what the family brings. So to put the attention to that, what is already happening, and to develop that further, and not to be so much influenced from the outside and from the directions.
So making connection in that sense is, of course, how we can make connections between movement and the brain, how we can change something in an ability of a child. But that without the context of who is caring for the child, and who is caring for the one who is caring, and how this all needs to work together and participate in this learning process. That's what is making connections. If we observe the movement of the child, I think there are many aspects of making connections which we can see where is a missing connection in the movement of the child, where is something we can support, where is a pattern to kind of carve out, and where there are maybe patterns or habits which are not so functional, not so useful.
Also with children with special needs, a little like really slowing down and maybe breaking down the details, or into even more details than usually. What are the elements of some, kind of pathways? But also I'm thinking a lot about like bringing to the family the kind of feeling of not separating things, like that everything is actually happening all the time.
And how do we attune through listening? This attunement happening through listening, and this listening that is really subtle and open in all these many directions and dimensions.
Children with special needs don't move as much as other children. Like when you watch a baby in 1 minute, it moves incredible. It does incredible movement all the time. It's like self-stimulating. It gets feedback. There's so much learning happening in just a few minutes. And you also need to take the child to an edge where there is something new to learn. So it's a bit out of the comfort.
How do we meet the tone and we start the dialogue from where the child and the family is, and we offer new possibilities for experiencing tonic relationships with self and others, or with my own body.
I think we all have different ways how we deal with the matching or not matching the tone. What are the different matching of the tones? I think for me, it's a lot about trying to see where they are, and how can I react? What is my response?